Well, is Airbnb doomed? Like, is it in trouble? Not the company, the concept. The concept of short term rentals. Is it in big trouble? Yeah. And maybe I should just plain say it. From my perspective, it's about damn time. It's about damn time short term rental is in trouble. So, what have I got against short term rental? I'll go through the list. First of all, it's really an illegal hotel room or an illegal hotel suite in most cases. It started out fine. Airbnb started out fine at the very beginning. The idea was you could rent out rooms in your house. You could rent out your basement short term. You could be in a place where people might want to visit and you can rent out a bedroom. It was a kind of a digital bed and breakfast. I know people are saying, oh, God, bed and breakfast, who knows what that is? But that was fine, and it continues to be fine. Oh, and by the way, in the new legislation that's being thought about in Canada and in other in provinces, it's also fine. You can rent out your basement, your laneway suite, you rent out whatever you want in your own home that you're occupying. No problem. And you can rent out short-term vacation home. A short-term vacation home, nobody has a problem with. Ski chalet, no sweat. Cottage property, it's all fine. You got a particularly beautiful spot in the desert of the Soyuz in BC. Yep, I know where that is. I've been there. Close to the vineyards, and it's a vacation thing. No problem. But not illegal hotel rooms in large cities across Canada, because that's what it is. That's what it is when you take a condo building or you take a house in a regular neighborhood and you turn it into an Airbnb. It's an illegal hotel facility. That's what it is. So why do I think it's doomed? I'll tell you why. Because the momentum is gathering to end it. It's banned in New York. It's banned in Philadelphia. By the way, New York, holy mackerel. Sweet Jesus. A lot of Airbnbs in New York. That's for goddamn sure. Okay. Now, again, they have the same kind of outs. You know, if you're renting rooms in your apartment, no problem. But if you're renting your whole apartment, big problem. Banned. The British Columbia government just 2 weeks ago introduced legislation proposing to put these extreme limitations on all kinds of short-term rental. They're against it. Oh, and guess what? This week, the federal government the Minister of Finance, Chrystia Freeland, Deputy Prime Minister, said, yeah, we think this is something we got to look into. So, folks who have Airbnbs, start listing them. I mean, it ain't looking good. Honestly, why do we go back to why I hate it? It's not the right zoning. And I know people say, oh man, it's free enterprise. We should be able to use our properties for whatever the hell we want. If we own this semi, we should be able to do anything we want with it. If we own this condo unit, we should be able to do anything we want with it. Well, you can't. You can't do anything you want with it. You can't build a crematorium in your backyard. You can't open a weed store in your condo suite. You can't do a million things with property however you want to. It's called zoning. And it's been around for 100 years. This isn't new. People try to pretend, everybody should be able to do whatever they want with their property. No, you can't. You can't. You just can't. And you certainly can't use it as an illegal hotel. You're not paying the correct property tax. Hotels pay 5 times the property tax of residential units. 5 times. They've got all kinds of other issues they have to maintain. Security of the premises. They've got to have managers around 24 hours on call. They got to have the right kind of insurance. They got to have, it's a long, long list of why hotels are completely different than Airbnbs. They are different and they should stay different. And by the way, there's no shortage of hotels. Now the final complaint, oh, Airbnb is much cheaper. Well, you know what? I've been reading a lot of responses to my social media posts about Airbnbs, and the majority of the time, the only people who are mad about this are the Airbnb owners. Like the people who use Airbnb, most of the time, they're telling me in my replies, it's crap. We don't like it. It used to be cheap. It's become super expensive. We don't like it anymore. Okay? It's not right. We're worried about it. There's cleaning fees, this fee, that fee. And there's There's a camera in the washroom, hidden camera in the washroom, for God's sakes. I mean, we've all read the stories. Listen, I am fine with the people who have an Airbnb unit in their own homes where they live. I am fine with all the resort stuff, the ski chalet, the cottage. No worries. People have been renting out cottages, again, for about 100 years in the summer. All good, okay? You got a place on Main Island, you want to rent it out in the summer? No sweat. All good, all right? I don't have any trouble with any of that. But for God's sakes, we've seen whole condo structures that have been designed for Airbnb. I mean, they're just tiny little suites. There's way too many tiny suites. It's clear they were being sold for the profit that comes out of renting something that's effectively a hotel, all right? And by the way, the final thing, if Airbnb gets shut down, short-term rental gets shut down in big cities, going to release a whole bunch of suites for long-term rental, which is great, which is goddamn great, and a bunch of them are going to get sold, which is going to put more housing stock into the hands of first-time homebuyers. So overall, Airbnb, sorry, good while it lasted, looks like it's in trouble.